Hello everybody and welcome along to PSGL Season 31. We are back for the final 3 rounds of the season for the top tier on the PlayStation, and we head to Jeddah for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's hosted that Grand Prix 2 times in Formula 1 history, and we are looking to create history tonight. Could Dan Urko be crowned the PSGL F1 champion for Season 31? We'll have to wait and see. My name is Jess Ball, and unfortunately my usual co-commentator Aidan Carter can't make it tonight, but I'm not alone because I have a feeling my voice is going to die if I'm alone otherwise. Joining me in the commentary box is normal PSGL PSF2 commentator. We have got Evan alongside me. Evan, how are you doing?
Hello, yeah, welcome along everybody to PSGL F1 around the Jeddah Corniche circuit. I'm in replace of Aidan tonight. Some will miss Aidan, but he will be back next week. Of course, we can make history tonight with TF10 Denirko looking to seal what has been a fantastic season so far in the F1 Championship. It is himself versus Philip Wouters is the battle we are looking at tonight around Saudi Arabia. Of course, it's the most corners on an F1 circuit and the walls are close, as we've seen in PSGL and in Formula 1 history. We are going to have a cracking race tonight, folks.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're wondering what Dan Urko needs to do tonight to claim the title, well, he's got 3 chances. His first chance is tonight. He needs to outscore second place by 6 points. If he does that, he's champion. So if Dan Urko finishes P1, basically what Philip Wouters needs to do to stay in the fight is finish 3rd or higher, because if he finishes 4th, it will be tied on 34 points, but Dan Urko would win on countback. So he needs to finish on the podium tonight if Dan Urko wins. If Dan Urko finishes 2nd, we'll work out the maths as soon as we can throughout the stream, so you know if he's done enough or if he's not. For Aidan's sake, he's going to hope that it gets decided next week. But Dan Urko's not feeling that confident about taking the title tonight, but to be honest, there's not much pressure for him tonight because he knows he's got 3 chances to do so.
Yeah, Denirko, he has a lot of chances to do so, but coming into tonight, of course, he won here last season, back in Season 30, he won the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, so he will be hopeful for tonight to go as well as last time, of course, leading the championship by quite a few points, and Philip Wouters really does need to take a win here tonight realistically to close the gap, because of course if he does just stay in it by the skin of his teeth, it will make it easier for Denirko next week. But the thing about Jeddah is it always throws up surprises. Of course, this season in Formula 1 not so much, but last season in PSGL we certainly did have some fantastic races across the board. Of course, throwback to last week, or not last week, last season, apologies, Denirko did take the win ahead of Santeri and Fabi. So Santeri, of course, not racing here tonight, would have been another driver to look out for, certainly around Jeddah. But Denirko's the favourite going in, the championship leader, and he'll have a bucket load of confidence under him heading into tonight's street race.
Yes, indeed. And for those of you that don't know, there was a PTF2 race on Wednesday, and Dan Urko was invited to take part in that race. He qualified quite well. He qualified near the top 10, but he managed to finish in P2 as well. And there was a cracking battle between himself and Drake Dempsey as well for that 2nd place spot. So he's got an advantage compared to the other drivers tonight because he has that on-track experience. I know obviously consoles are different. I'm not entirely sure what console he is on, but he has a little bit of experience under his belt against some of the top guys as well. But he can't become complacent when he does that, because he knows that there will be some guys trying to chase him down, and there'll be the likes of Tom as well. But Wouters is the man that he needs to watch out for tonight, and 60 points. Tom 53. Realistically, he still has a chance of claiming the title tonight as well. Same with to take the title fights next week. Ascombe in 4th on 51. Then we got Rudy Legend, who got his first win of the season a couple of rounds ago in Brazil. He is sitting in P6. And we got Brock Rowan, Kazidal, Jensen, Ray in the top 11 after joining late in the season after being promoted from F2. Fabian 12th, Santeri, even though he left, still in 13th position. And we got Orgiano in 16th place. He got dropped down to 5th a few weeks ago because he got a penalty. More about penalties in a second. Then we've got Louis, who's not racing tonight. He's been replaced by Romanino. Louis will be back next week. He's had a 3-race ban, so it's his final race where he's had a ban, so he'll be back in time for USA. And then we got the likes of Namaya, Chiquita, Mish, H. Eagle, Marco Dos, Fede, Nam, and then we got Facidio, and then our 3 reserves as well. We also got Deso in as well in the AlphaTauri. Actually, let's go through the rest of the reserves now, actually, before we forget. Deso will be replacing Fede in the AlphaTauri, and as I said, Reminio is replacing Louis in the Aston Martin. And we got Legend in the Williams. He's replacing Shakita, who can't make it tonight. We got 4 grid as well, which is great to see, but what makes this track so good for league racing?
It's a brilliant track, and another thing that makes it great for us spectators, so to say, is how surprising it can be. The walls being closed and being one of the highest speed circuits on the calendar, it just makes for crashes and makes for drama. Hopefully we don't see anyone's season being ruined with a silly accident tonight, but mistakes can be made and mistakes we must watch for. But we're getting into qualifying now. This is one of the most entertaining parts of a Saudi Arabian F1 weekend, is just seeing these cars fly around this circuit. It really is fascinating.
Yeah, it flows very nice. I really like doing hot laps around here, but when it comes to the race, I'm absolutely terrible. Orgiano is the first man to set a lap time around this circuit. Like I was saying earlier, he got dropped down to 5th due to him receiving a 5-second time panel. He's going to hope that he doesn't get involved in too many incidents tonight. Please be aware that there will potentially be quite a few safety cars. The curves are greener this year compared to last game, which is great to see. It made it more accurate, and the DRS zones are in the correct place this year, so that's great to see on the game as well, that they modified that, as Orgiano almost validated there, and that's how you can take the curve without exceeding track limits. As more lap times are being set, we've got Asicombe 1:27.2, Rowan 1:27.3, Jensen 1:27.7. we got Orgiano, who will be next to cross the line. We got his teammate as well in second, but what got Orgiano do? He crosses the line in 4th position with a 1:27.782. So time's pretty close already. We have got, I think, we've got Rudy, who's coming across the final corner, turn 27. We'll see some cheeky potential DRS tactics being made tonight, as we saw in real life and in league racing. And Rudy up to the timing board. Pole position with a 1:27.237. So he was purple in the final sector as well. So time's looking pretty good. Even though Rudy doesn't have the best chances out of anybody else, he's still mathematically in that fight. So if any of the guys outscored Ernesto tonight, and the gap's still at 34 or less come at the end of tonight, they could still be mathematically in this. It's not just about Ernesto and Valters.
Yep, and really the guys outside of the championship are just going to be going into this with all guns blazing, because they've got nothing to lose. Danielko has everything to lose, but a good banker time already. He's less than a 10th of a second off pole position. There was a couple of mistakes early on from some of the guys you can see in the pits. A couple of invalidated laps here or there, but again, there is plenty of time to get a good run in. You just got to get the head down and go for another run. Facilio is on that run, and he's had a very good middle sector there, heading through the high-speed lefts and rights. This second sector and third sector is all about this power. Straight line speed and power will gain you a lot in the race here. Not as much in qualifying, because the corners do play a big part on the qualifying lap, but in the race this DRS is oh so powerful, and we've got to watch out for those who may be quickest in qualifying, might not be the best under race trim.
Yes, exactly. So we'll see what Facidio can do. Not scored many points this season. The only driver out of the full-time guys to not score a point. H-Eagle scored points a few races ago, but can this be the night that Facidio scored his first point this season? It didn't take a while to score points last season, but maybe he's just struggling a little bit on this game, as he had to slow down a little bit there, but he comes up to a line 1:27.7, so could this been enough for pole? Well, he's very, very close at the moment against the top of the field. We got more people up to the line as well. We got Brock as well, who got pole quite a few times, but he's unfortunately invalidated his run, so he will have to go again very, very soon. We got Marcados, Valters, H-Eagle and Fabian out laps. Those guys haven't set laps yet. Valters really needs to set a lap, because otherwise he'll be out of the championship fight. So Valters then, he's heading towards turn number 1. He clips the left-hand curb and then goes to the right-hand curb for good measure as well, to get the best exit as you possibly can as well. We've seen quite a few pile-ups around this section of track. I got caught up in a pile-up myself around this track, which took me out of this race. Let's hope the drivers don't experience that as we head towards the next, it will be, used to be a DRS zone, but obviously it is, I don't think it is. No, it's not on this game. They actually got it right. So as they head towards turn. I need to try and remember what turn it is because there's the wrong way. It's, I believe, turn 13 as we head towards Sector 2 now. It looks pretty decent, but not as fast as the other drivers here tonight as well. He wants to get into the 127s, really. Ideally, the 127.3s in order to stand a chance of beating Denarco. Ascom and Rudy, well, they're probably going to be near him in the championship as well, so they don't want to outscore him either. As a yellow flags, people moving out of the way. Valter's purple in Sector 2, so he's looking pretty good. His Sector 1 wasn't that great, but his Sector 2 was a lot better. He needs to get it all in that final sector then, as we head towards the final few corners of 26 and 27. As he's got a Haas car in front of him as well, who might be on a lap, or he might be going into the pits. He's on a lap, so Valtters is in 60 for the moment. What can he do? That's more likely for Valtters. P7 for him, but he needs to find 2 attempts to get ahead of his main championship contenders.
It was a great lap from Valtters. I'm not really sure where he lost a lot of that time. It might have just been in the straight line speed or possibly through Sector 1, but he looked very good through some of the corners, and that'll be a confidence boost heading into the Grand Prix. Ascom starting a second lap now, heading on to the end or the middle of the first sector. Very tricky for a sector, this one. You have to be on the limit and on your toes at all times, especially during the race. A lot of blind apexes that you got to be careful of, because if there's a spin of the other side, you will go piling into the side of him. As that's Marcados gone to 5th for Red Bull. Good qualifying so far for Marcados. He made a mistake on his initial lap, but he's recovered well to go P5 here. 9 minutes and 25 seconds to go around the Jeddah Corniche circuit. It's building up to be a good end to the session.
Yeah, it is. And Marcados only scored 2 points this season in that Red Bull, so for him being P5 is pretty good. Usually he doesn't have a not too bad qualifying, but it's just a race where he's inconsistent. And look at that. Just as we were saying that he was doing good, he's invalidated, but he's already done one of his good runs anyways. It would help if I had it on a tyre there, so I can see who's on laps and who's not. We've got a Haas car, or I think it's Rowan up to the line. He's taken the shortest run to claim some more time, and that's definitely worked for him, as he's gone fastest at 127.2. One of the Aston Martin boys is on a run, 127.747, so that belongs to Romanino in P14. We've got Ascom. That's more likely for him, 127.1. Usually the man who wants to be on pole position at the start of the session, but doesn't quite get it right in the middle half or the end of the session. But the middle half is definitely paying off for him, as he's fastest. We have got, I believe, a Mercedes on about to start his run. That is Brock. We've got Ray up to the line as well. Nope, he's not going up to the line because he's invalidated and going into the pit, so he has more time to get a run. Someone has spun. That is an Aston Martin, so he's not going to improve on his run. Eagle goes in to the pit lane. There's loads of people on run. It's hard to keep up as Rudy is about to start his run in turn number 1. He needs to gain about 2 tenths or so to get into the 127.1s, 180s. 1 tenth, believe it or not. All a bit squirmy through there. I think he's lost a bit of time there, but I think after seeing these times, I think we could see a 126.9 tonight from one of the drivers, but who would it be though? The top 4 could easily do it, and it's really close already. Only 2 drivers yet to set a 127 lap time, including Brock, who hasn't set a lap time yet. And we seem to see a few more invalidations than usual. Do you think that's not much experience on this game around Jeddah?
It's a difficult track. It's very easy to invalidate, but the track is ramping up. We're seeing everybody pretty much improve. Shizou Tom was improving by about 0.2 of a second, but actually had a bit of a spin heading through turn 13. Rudy, we've seen him getting all squirmy through sector number 1, but that car is quick on the straights. He is improving here. It's enough for pole position so far, but he'd want a little bit more in hand to make sure he has enough at the end of the session. Heading into the final couple of corners, 27, a really tricky braking zone. You don't know if you want to brake earlier or later. Both give you even sort of run to the final corner here, as we can see. Accelerate towards the line, comes the Alpine, getting the power as quickly as possible. Short shift up the gears practically to get towards the line. We'll see what Rudy can do. It's a 27 flat. We are definitely getting into the 26s towards the end of the session. That is a great lap from a great driver so far. Rudy on pole position. can he keep it? It's going to be difficult because there is still a lot of guys to set their second runs. We see Jensen improve. We have to see Denirko heading towards the line now. He's backed off, I believe, or no, still full power to the line. Where's Denirko going to go to Ferrari? It's a time improvement, but no position improvement for Denirko. 10th of a second improvement, but that is just the track evolution we are seeing here so far. It's normally not a big part of Codemasters games, but seems to be a big part here in Jeddah.
Yep, so Denirko, he's got a point to prove tonight, but he wouldn't mind if he doesn't win this one, as long as his championship rivals doesn't score any better, then that shouldn't be a problem at all. As here's one now, Valters, as he comes towards turn 27 then, as he's back off his one of his runs, so he's going to go again for his second run. He doesn't have long to go if he wants to set another run, as someone has had a bit of a moment coming out of turn 1. We saw that earlier in the F2 tier as well during the race. But that hasn't affected Valter's run though, so we'll keep an eye on him and his set to times. I wonder if he's going to go again or if he's backing off and going to go in the pits. Then we got Fabi starting his run in set to 1, and we'll see if anyone's improving. It won't be Kazillo though, because he's invalidated. So I wonder if it was set to 1 or 2 where he invalidated that one, because it was definitely not set to 3. Denirko will be going into the pit soon. His teammate Mish, who got into the walls a few weeks ago because he got unlucky with incidents that weren't his fault, of course. It was caused by some other drivers, but he's looking to score higher than P18 at the moment. Not a good lap for him at all, but only a few tenths will put him into the 127 for sure. Ray down in 19th, disappointing for him, but again, not much experience on track compared to his more experienced compatriots as well, as I think most people will be going into the pit to get a fresh set of boots on and get their final runs in, see if they can beat Rudy. And I think it's going to be a really, really tight one as well. I think we could see definitely 126s, but I think we could see a lot of people in the 127 1s, 2s or even 3s, potentially for Marcos as well. Valtters goes into the pits as well. I'm seeing if anyone's going to improve. No, hardly anyone's going to improve. They're going to all go in and get a fresh set of boots for the end of qualifying. Let us know in chat, guys, who you think is going to get pole position. Is it going to be Rudy, Asako, Rowan, Denirko, or would it be someone else? As Ray comes up to the line, that's a much better lap time for me, more representative. He's now into the 127s. Good job from him.
Ogiano improving to 9th as well, but that probably has some of the Aramco sponsorship on its car. That was right up to the walls, but Ogiano is on the back of a good performance. Brazil only his 2nd point scoring event in the season, as well as a podium in Austria, but Kazizel to the top now, and it's almost a 10th in hand. Is that track evolution, or are we just seeing the superior drivers slowly but surely come to the top? We'll have to wait and see. There's some disappointing people. Expect Legend to be up there towards the end. H Eagle could improve as well. We expect Philip Wouters then. He needs to be up near the top. It's not whether he will or he won't. He actually physically needs to be up to the top if he wants a chance in this Grand Prix. But into the dying ends of qualifying, it's make or break. We are either going to see a lot of drivers make mistakes, or we will see some big laps put in, and we know what can happen if a driver is under severe pressure heading into Saudi Arabia. We remember that Max Verstappen crash, as Desil is on a good run here for AlphaTauri.
Yep, he's reserving tonight, of course, because the guy in the AlphaTauri Fede couldn't make it tonight then as well. Deso, currently sitting 26th in the standings, hasn't scored any points so far, but he does tend to be struggling a little bit in this tier. His first few outings in F1 didn't go quite so well, but there was a few outings where he got close to points, but not close enough. And with Deso then, he goes through turn 27. He's got a little bit of traffic, and is he going to go into the pits? As I said that, nope, he's not. He's just taking the shortest run to the line. 127.2, P6. This is getting closer than we would have thought. If you want to be inside that top 10, you really need to get into the 127.2s ideally, due to the track evolution, as Legend is about to start his run. So we'll see what the recent race winner from a couple of weeks ago in Brazil can do. It got very tight between himself and Tom for the race victory. It came down to track position in the end, because Tom had the fresher tyres, but it was Legend that kept his cool on 36 lap old inters, which sealed the day for him in Brazil. And usually track position is not as key around Brazil, but Legend proved that it was. If it was one more lap, I think Tom would have actually definitely won that race. But more people tend to be struggling here at this moment because Zizzle is out, so he's not going to have time to get another run in. But we'll see. Legend's only a few 100s up in the first sector. We've got a couple more people on laps. We've got their Hasses on their out laps, but we'll see what Legend can do, as this part of the track I absolutely love, but if you don't get a good setup, you tend to understeer into that corner quite a lot, so the more effort work, the better. Oh yeah, he's trying to get a bit of a tow from his teammate, it looked like, from Facecam, I believe, or was it not intentional? I don't know, but that definitely helped him because he was a 10th up on his previous best, as the Red Bull moves out the way for him as well. He's got the DRS wide open as well, so I wonder if it's going to be pole position. I don't think so, because he was a 10th up. That would put him 11th or 12th, where Jensen and Valtters is. Oh, that's not good. He's been blocked by the AlphaTauri. He's only a few 100s up. He gets to go again, but that block did not help at all, as he has to abort his run. Thomas retired as well. Let's see what the final few minutes can do. A few people seem to be struggling out there.
Few people struggling. Of course, Legend not getting the run he wanted there. Only one of 2 reserves to score points this season, which is quite unusual. Brock is 2/10 up in a lap, but he's not more than 2/10 of a second. Rowan is almost 2/10 up, pushing in. Oh no, he's not. He's only in sector number 1, so that's a bit of an error by the game. Session is over now. This is where the crucial laps come in. Rudy improving, Asicombe improving. Asicombe is substantially up here, but is going to need a little bit more to knock Kazizel off that top pedestal here in qualifying. The AlphaTauri is flying towards the final corner of turn 27. I'm surprised we haven't seen a few more crashes here. They've all been very well behaved so far here in qualifying. Here comes Asicombe to the line. DRS full power. The car is at maximum speed down towards the line. Asicombe, it's only a front row start here. It's not going to be pole position. Rudy slightly improving. Needs more as well. What about Rowan? Will get his sector split time now.
Yeah, 59.9, so he's a few 100s down, is Rowan in sector 3, so he needs to have a miraculous final sector to get pole position. We got Dan Erko, he's on his final run now. I don't think it's going to be enough for pole. Nope, it's not. P3's improved by 2/10 though, so I'm sure he'll be happy, but he would probably want to fight for pole position. We'll follow Rudy as he comes towards turn 27. The final sector has got to be epic, it's got to be good. He's got the final attempt in it. Can he get pole? He improves in time, but not in position. P4 for him. A few 100 shy of Danarco in P3. What about Fuzilio? He's invalidated. And so is the Aston Martin as well. Legend has backed off. So that's qualifying over then. And Kazizel, for the 3rd time this season, is on pole position. The only man to get multiple pole positions out of all the drivers this season. So it shows that Kazizel is a qualifying merchant, and yeah, that was a very good lap from him. But Asicombe, so close between himself and Kazizel, same with Danerico and Rudy as well. I'm looking forward to this fight for the lead, because it's not just going to be between the top 2. I think the top 5 will definitely have a shot. I'm very impressed with Dosa's lap as well. P6, one of his best qualifying results of the season. Question is, can he keep it on the road?
Yeah, can all these guys keep it on the road is the question. Danirko, the reason he's fighting for this championship is based on consistency. He hasn't finished lower than 6th so far this season, but that's an awful qualifying for his rival Wouters. And Philip's going to struggle in the race to get back up to Danirko if Danirko can go mistake-free. Of course, that's very difficult to do around a track with walls so close, but pole position for Kazizel, another great lap for the McLaren ahead of Asicombe. It should be very interesting into turn number 1 here, where getting ready to round off the session. All drivers have finished up their laps. It's just waiting on people to go into the garages, Legend specifically. But we should be in for a great race. Strategy is usually a hard medium, but medium hard it can work either way. But with a lot of safety cars expected, it really will cause a bit of a schism in the strategy. And it should be an interesting one for all. So do let us know in the chat who you want to win the race. It's going to be a tough one to predict, but predictions are normally very good from the PSGL chat.
Yeah, it is. Usually better than my predictions, so that's why I let the people in chat do the predictions and not me, because sometimes I tend to jinx a lot of people, but I don't jinx as much in PSGL, which is great to see anyway. But we'll run through your order then. Quite close between the top 5, like I was saying. So we've got Kazizel on pole, Asicombe 2nd, Danarco 3rd, Rudy in 4th, Rowan 5th, Deso 6th, Fabi 7th, Markados 8th, Ray in 9th, Tom in 10th. Then we got Orgiano, Jensen, Valsers, Legend, the Maya, H Eagle, Fazilio, Romanino, Mish, and Brock round up your top 20. And we've got the top 18 separated by just under 8/10 of a second. No formation lap, remember. So before we head to the race, let's go have a quick word from our sponsor, our title sponsor, GT Omega. We will see you in 30 seconds. Hello guys, welcome back to PSGL PSF1, the third to last round of the season, and this could be made history tonight. Danurko could take the title, but he needs majority of his rivals to bottle it and not outscore him today. We've got myself, Jess Ball, and we've got Evan Dalton in the commentary box to take you through the action as the drivers are getting ready to set up their strategies, and it's either going to be hard, medium, or medium hard. We could see a few people try the mediums to start with. We saw that in F2 with the likes of CC Brain. He got a very good start from him on the mediums, but expect pretty much everybody to go for the hard tyres as we're about to get underway for some PSGL action after our week's break. The 5 red lights are on. We got Kazizel on pole, Asacombe on side. Who's going to get the start? They need it into turn 1, and it is lights out, and away we go then. And I think Asacombe has got the best start actually, heading towards turn number 1. There's always been contact from Kazizel and Danurko heading towards there. Huge drama already, and we haven't even made it through the first few turns. That might be a penalty for sure, but again, it'll be up to the stewards. That's promoted Rudy up to 3rd. Desso's had a good start as well, so brilliant start from the AlphaTauris up to 4th place. Rowan staying in 5th, Margados in 6th. Desso's actually been dropped by Rowan there and Markados, so Desso didn't have the best. I think Desso's disconnected actually. Well, he might be desync, I'm not entirely sure, but what a poor start from Danurko though. He got spun there. That was very unlucky.
Yeah, really unlucky for Danurko, and that's the problem here. He got tagged and now has to work his way back up the field on the back of H Eagle, going for a really early move around the outside here through the second sector. That's going to be an overly difficult move, but we've seen a couple of Ferraris pull it off. He ran a little bit off the circuit and may have to hand that position back, but we will see. A great start for a couple of guys. Tom up 3 spots after a disappointing qualifying for him. He's all the way back up to 7th now, and he's hoping to gain a few more positions, but it was a poor race start for the McLaren of Kazizel, and then I believe he tagged Danurko into turn number 1 as Philip Wouters has got past Jensen, obviously running a lot of straight line speed. Philip's gone for something different, and he's only one of 3 guys running the mediums. Big move around the outside of Ogiano here. Can he make it work? Almost taps the wall on the outside, and that could have been a nasty collision for him and could have ended his championship, but he's just about avoided it. And just take a look at this slipstream fest down into turn number 1. This could get really messy.
Yep, it is, as we can see, Val's up the inside as well. We've got Desso, who I think is desync, so from a few cars, but it doesn't look like he's desync from Tom, as Tom gets past Desso there, as yeah, that's definitely desync from Desso there, so he is struggling a little bit. Unfortunately, it's a bit of a shame that the game is having some desync issues in some races, but it may be down to the connection for some of the drivers, but we will keep an eye on that as it continues as well. Yeah, it is Desso that is desync because he keeps going up everywhere on the timing sheet, so apologies about that, but that doesn't stop us from seeing some great racing. I think the main racing that's happening is in the midfield, as you were saying, as Danurko trying to make his way back. He's going to pass through Zilio up to 15th place. He would need a safety car again, but a bit squirmy from Valters there through the middle set, so that's giving Orgiano a little bit of hope there to try and get the move under the bridge there, heading towards the final sector as well, keeping on that left-hand curve, move over to the right a little bit there as well. But Orgiano will have to stay put. Looking at the people that are on the memes, that's the Maya Valters, Ruzilio and H Eagle. Everybody else has opted for the hard compounded tyres here today. So the ones on the memes not doing quite as well, but the ones on hard are starting to take advantage as well. Look at that DRS trainer starting to take effect as well, because it's also in the fastest lap of the race so far. But with the DRS now activated, could we see some tactics here from some of the drivers?
We could see sitting behind is going to be a bit risky through Sector 1, but certainly picking up that DRS and the toe down one of many straights will be of a big advantage, as Deso is very, very much T-synced here, and he's causing a bit of hassle for those behind them. Markados and Rowan struggling a little bit. Just I suppose having a ghost car jump in front and back from you it's just not good. It just throws you off a little bit. But Legend is on the back of Jensen in the Williams, and Legend, of course, he's not in a championship fight. He is gonna make some bold moves here. He's a reserve driver, yeah, and he's looking to make a bit of a name for himself, possibly get a main seat for next season on the back of Jensen. And all the action really coming from the back of the field. Asicom has started as he means to continue, as Denirko is now looking for another way past the Williams in front of him. He is looking to do all his moves through the 16, 17, 18 complex. That's where he's gone for two. They've not worked out on both occasions, but if anybody can make a move here around Jeddah, it will be Denirko.
Yep, he can as well. He's used to climbing back from near the back of the field to near the front before. He's done that in many races in his PSGL career. So, to be honest, there's not going to be much pressure from him tonight, because if it was the final race, he'll be in a lot of trouble. But it's not the final race, as you can see. Jensen and Legend fighting tooth and nail for P13 at the moment. But that allowed Denirko to get a bit of slipstream and possibly squeeze past the both of them. We've got Rowan getting past the decent car of Deso there in the turn number 1. But can Legend squeeze himself past Jensen there at the moment? It looks like Jensen keeps it, but look at Denirko. He's got past Legend, and Denirko's like, thank you very much. If you can't get past Jensen, I'm going to try and do so and get past you. So Denirko back up to 14th, and you can see the amount of pace that he has. He's got a bit of anger in himself, and I wonder if he's using him to as confidence to be like, right, I want to get past a lot of these cars. I want to get in the points to make sure that there's a decent gap coming into the penultimate few rounds, because really you want to be with a decent gap. As Denirko had a little bit of a tank slapper there of oversteer, which is so easy to do in these sections of corners. People keep moving left, right and centre, and I think everyone's trying to move away from Deso at the moment. He's dropped down to 8th place. I wonder if he will get told to retire from the session, because that's some serious desync from Deso at the moment, because he was 4th, now 5th, 6th, 7th. So again, major apologies, but Ray's looking for a move past Tom then into the corner where we saw Denirko try for a few moves. So try 26 and 7. Ray may not want to go for the move there now. He's got to back off. He's got the DRS. Tom's got the DRS as well. We'll see who has that overall power on the straight. It's all about straight line speed here in Jeddah. As you can see, Ray can't get the move done due to that DRS train. So hard to follow with these cars around here, as Deso has left the session. So I wonder if he was told to lead the session by the TA coordinators. So unfortunately, I seem to commentators cursed him, because the day where he had a good qualifying, he's had desync. So bit of a shame there. But Ray didn't get past Tom, but Markados does get past Deso's ghost car.
Yeah, he had a great qualifying, but it's just not to be in the race, and desync is still a bit of a problem clearly on the game. But Denirko, yeah, he is definitely driving with anger, although Jensen has used a bit of his battery. He's trying to pull away, and the Ferrari is going to find it difficult to make all the moves up the field. Of course, Saudi Arabia is the 13th largest country in the world on landmass. This track certainly is not. It is oh so close. Of course, being a street circuit, it's half permanent, half street circuit, and the walls are close. It's at high speed. Overtakes will be difficult, and we have to see what Denirko can do. But up near the top, Tom is getting a bit of pace back. He struggled a bit with that Deso desync car. The desync car was actually on top of his car at one point through the first sector. But he is getting some pace back, and he's looking to get past Markados. So I would expect a bit of an attempt from Tom. Oh, never mind. It's Ray. Big send on the inside, and he's almost made contact with the Mercedes. The Mercedes had to pull a bit of a switch back. Tom keeps his front wing, keeps his position, but Ray is under serious threat from the Aston Martin behind.
Yeah, it looks like, doesn't it? Which I think Ray's on a mission here today. He's been on fire trying to climb his way through the field, and as he almost hit the mire there into turn number 1, but he did get sent to a spin, which is great to see. Denirko is now up another position, up to 13th place, and his next target is to get past Jensen for P12, and then Elgato, maybe Fabi as well. They're all still in that train. Literally anybody could win this race. That's how all close it is. The only one not in that train is H Eagle down in last place. His race hasn't gone to plan at all for the Alfa Romeo driver, but he's still got plenty of laps to go. Still could be a safety car. We've seen safety cars before that have changed the outcome of this race, both in real life and in league racing. So it's never over till it's over, and it's great to see H Eagle not giving up at all here as Ray then on the back of Tom. He's using all that ERS management skills to save to try and get him on the straights here. So he's got the DRS, but the thing is he can't get past that DRS train, so he's going to have to wait until Tom is out of DRS range of Markados in order to go for a move. But one who is going to try and go for the move actually is Rowan on Rudy. He's a few tenths behind him, and Rowan's looking brilliant on his ERS management and straight line speed then. He almost got him in turn 27. We'll see what he could do here. He's using a bit of overtake. Is he going to do it? He's gaining just a little bit, but he's choosing to save a bit more. This is quite common with these drivers. They don't go for moves straight away because A, that you may risk into accidents, and if you use too much ERS too early in the race, due to the fact that the majority of this track is high speed and flowing, then you're going to lose and you're going to be on 10% for most of the race. And for those of you that don't know, below 10% is not good. You're going to lose all that power on the straight line. So Rowan doing a great job to keep in control with these top four and still have the amount of DRS and to just catch up to Rudy is absolutely insane. And I think I have to say Tom and Ray doing pretty decent. The Meyer as well. I'm seeing if anybody else is dangerously running out of ERS. I think Jensen is as well. And Danerko's got past Jensen now as well. So that's Danerko up to 12th place. So Danerko still can get some points from this. It's not over for him.
No, it's not the end of the world. He had a very clean through up the inside into turn 27, but Jensen didn't really fight it on the straight. He kind of just lifted off and said, look, this isn't really my fight today, which was good sportsmanship to let the quicker driver through. Ray has better pace than Tom in this one, but he just isn't playing his cards right. He seems to be the quicker driver, but he's going for the overtakes in the wrong places, and that is what's causing him to be stuck behind the Mercedes. Tom is a good driver when it comes to all aspects of Grand Prix racing, overtaking, defending, so you gotta be smart when overtaking him. Ray isn't so far as he has a snap of oversteer heading through the final corner. He needs to just get close and just make the right moves at the right times, as he's under pressure once again from the Aston Martin, and this just seems to be a constant reoccurrence. He looks to go for a move, becomes under pressure as Danerko has got past Elgato. That's another clean move for Danerko up the inside into the turn 1 and turn 2 chicane. The Ferrari is up to 11th points, definitely on the cards for the Ferrari.
Yeah, it just shows it's not over for Danerko. I think him being on the hard compounded tyres could make all the difference as well, because the medium tyres, they're going to start to die. And for those of you that are wondering about the strategy here in Jeddah, well, pretty much the mediums can last 14 laps, but the ideal pit window, that 10 lap 11, forces out the hard compounded tyres. It did used to be soft mediums, but the softs don't tend to last long on this game due to the new tyre model. So it is medium to hard or hard medium, and 14 lap 14, 15 on the hards onto a 7 mediums, but they can last particularly longer as well if they want to. They can go, I think, lap 11, lap 12. So if there's a chance of a safety car from lap 10 onwards, the mediums could easily go to the end, no problem at all. So Danerko's going to hope that the medium runners could start to struggle a little bit as well. Fabi's closing up onto the medium runners too, so that could be detrimental to Valtteri and the Meyer as well. And the Meyer's had some great races so far, some unlucky races so far, and he knows he wants to try and get ahead of some of these guys. He's up 7 positions, and he wants to gain another one from Ray, but again, he can't get past. We'll watch Rudy again. Not quite close enough. We're seeing Ray trying to get around the inside of Tom. Not quite close enough once again. So Ray just seems to want to get the move before he goes into the pits, it looks like. I mean, he's in 7th, but he's probably going to hope that other drivers pick up penalties. And we've seen a lot of invalidations in quali. No penalties so far, though. I wonder if they learnt their lesson from qualifying.
No penalties so far, and another thing around a track like Jeddah is you're not pushing as much in qualifying because the walls are so close. Wouters almost got the move done on the Maya in towards turn 16, but had to lift off, and that is why he's finding himself about 5/10 adrift, is because obviously the tyres are falling off, but he almost did get the move done, but he had to lift off, otherwise it was himself and the Aston Martin pile driving into the wall, and that's not what he needs for his championship right now. Ray's had a massive slide through there.
Yep.
He has somehow avoided damage, as we do see the first penalty just been picked up, so that's probably our first commentator's curse of the day. As Ogiano picks up a time penalty, as we see Nemanja not able to capitalise on that mistake from Ray. But up the front, it's looking like Rudy. He's going to try and move on Kazizel here, the Alpine. He's going to go to the outside and towards turn 27. Could he go with the both of them here? Facecam really slow in a straight line. That's due to the DRS effect. Rudy tries to hang around the outside of the McLaren. It's not going to work on this occasion. Kazizel, smarter defender than that. Rudy tucks into the slipstream, down in towards turn number 1. It's a really tricky spot, but we could go free wide here, down into turn number 1. Rudy, can he go for the both of them? Only goes for the McLaren, and it's Facecam straight on into the wall. Big mistake from our race leader. He broke way too late, outjudged himself. Rudy didn't even get the spot on the McLaren, but that has caused chaos in front. Kazizel leads the Grand Prix here in Jeddah. Rudy in second, and that's a turn for the Bucks.
Yeah, our pole man, who didn't have the best of start, is now back at the lead, and he's pointing away. He set the fastest lap earlier on, and I'll see if he set the fastest lap of the race so far. No, that belongs to Danerko. Well, not that surprising, because he's really started to catch up. Believe it or not, he's still 3.7 seconds behind our race leader, so that's how quick he is at the moment. He's in the points now. He got past Fabi, and his next victim will be Valtters then, to see if he could get ahead of his championship rival. Now, as it stands, I believe the championship will still go to the next round, because there will only be 1 point difference between Danerko and Philip Valtters then. But I think more people will be in this fight if Facecam and Tom stay ahead of these two. So that will be good news for those two. So that will be a 4-way championship fight if that happens. But Rudy looks like he's going to get the race lead then from Kazizel. But is that the move he's looking for? Because he's going to have no DRS. Oh, that's cheeky. Inside. That is very cheeky, but very, very clever and smart from Rudy there. As look at this. Rowan's going to try and get the move on both of them, heading towards T1. We could see something similar to what we saw with Facecam. And look at that, Kazizel's dropped from first to third in the space of the final corner. That is a shame. Rudy's back in the race lead. Rowan's up to 7, Kazizel third. Markados is doing a great job up to 4th. We are seeing our first pit stop, ladies and gentlemen. Facecam is in. I'm not surprised, because he's in the wall, was in the wall. Ray's in as well on the 7 millions. Nemanja Valtters, Brock's in as well. As I was saying, lap 10 will be the prime opportunity to pit for pretty much any time. Not optimal for the mediums yet, but still can do it. But for the hards, you really have to. As Legend picks up a 3-second time penalty as well, that could really affect him in this race. My oh my, this is, I have to say, some really, really intense racing from these top 4. I was expecting Markados to be up there, but he's showing why he likes this track, and maybe he deserves to prove his doubters wrong. He is definitely proving me wrong at the moment. He's proving the doubters wrong, showing why he deserves to be there. He's 4th for the moment. Let's hope he doesn't make a mistake, touch wood. But I said that in Imola, and he had a bit of a spin, but he's doing well so far. Rudy's breaking away from Rome, which is great to see. So I wonder, is he really breaking free of the rest of the pack? We'll have to wait and see. But Danerko's up to 6th now, because everyone else around him is pitted. Will we see the guys stay out for a few extra laps? I think so. I'm saying that Markados thought about pitting, but not. So he stays out. Everybody in the top 6 stays out. So does Ogiano, but Fabi and Basilio is in.
Yeah, it's early pit stops for those starting on the hards, but just have to say hats off to Market. Oh, I've almost. Commentator's curse. There was a massive lap there, and he's almost gone into the wall. It seems to be damage free as he enters in towards the next complex of corners, but Rowan as well up the front, seen the mistake from the race leader. It awoken the Haas. He's been absolutely flying these last couple of laps. He's trying to get on the back of Rudy. He was on the back of Rudy, but Rudy's just gone. Rudy proving why he really is an up-and-comer for the future of F1 esports, possibly. He's flying up the front here as Kazizel is really struggling. Maybe has a bit of damage somewhere along the line, quite possibly, but he's really, really struggling. And this DRS train that was capturing the front 5 or 6 for the last 5 or 6 laps approximately, it had broken, but now Markados and Kazizel are doing their all to keep within it. Tom as well looking to pounce on the back. He's like a hungry tiger all race, just waiting to capitalise on some drivers' mistakes here. But this pit stop window will be crucial because overcuts and undercuts can both be done. We'll see what these guys opt for. But as of now, this is going to be a really interesting phase of the Grand Prix.
And so far, no safety cars so far. And they've been keeping it clean with some of these drivers. Obviously, we had a spin from Facecam earlier on as well. And we're seeing Rudy ran out of VRS, so he really was pushing. He's in then. He is one of our first of front runners to pit. Markados is in. No one else is opted to go in. Everybody else is staying out. Legend is in. Romanino is in. So we'll keep an eye on Facecam then. He was the first one of the major runners to pit. There's around about 19 seconds you lose in the pit lane, and already he's got his tyres up to temperature. Same with Ray then, as we head towards T1, as Facecam has got ahead of Rudy then. So despite that spin, Facecam has got ahead of Rudy. So the undercuts worked well from him there. But Rudy's going to have the fresher tyres at the end, so he's going to fight there towards the end. He may not push too much, but Facecam has got that time penalty as well, so that might come back to bite him. So your net race leader so far is Rudy. So I think for the top three, they may have no option but to stay out. But Danerka's got nothing to lose at this point because he's got Valters down in 12th place. Valters, I think I'm almost certain, would be out if Danerka finishes ahead of him by a country mile. But obviously we'll have to wait and see as well. Rowan, I think, as long as he keeps the gap on, because either way it doesn't matter for him, but I don't know, you can see Rowan was pushing the same as Rudy too. 0% ERS, you don't want to be on 0% ERS. I think he's going to be like that for the majority of the race, and he's going to be left to sit in dirt at the moment. So is he going to come in for his pit stop? The answer to that is yes, and Cazidor's going to come in, Tom's going to come in, Danerka, Ogiana, yep, everyone who hasn't pitted have all come in, so yeah, but they're really apt to at this point, and Jensen's got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane, so not good for him. We'll follow Facecam as he comes to the final corner. We'll see if he's got the undercut on all these drivers.
Another thing is Ray has got a really good undercut on the majority of the field, because just take a look at that. Ray is now the lead McLaren out of absolutely nowhere. We said he had good pace and he's a bit more battery than the car in front. Rudy already out of ERS. Facecam's pulled the cap from out of nowhere despite making that mistake. He has not going to be on the best of tyres towards the end of the Grand Prix though. That is the only down factor for the AlphaTauri, but it is Facecam who leads here in Jeddah. Then it is Rudy, Ray, Cazizzo, Markados, Rowan, and that is a shuffled up order from when they went into the pits. Of course, we've seen Facecam with that mistake. We've seen Cazizzo was leading the race at one point, the poleman, but he's now behind his teammate here. So that's a really interesting swap for McLaren. But wonder can Ray what he can do here. He's fallen off the back of Rudy a little bit. Rudy seems to be the quickest man on the circuit at this moment in time.
Yeah, he is. He definitely is. He is starting to push now. He's warmed his tyres up now to full effect, but I think the ERS is going to hinder him as well, because Facecam, look at the ERS that he has got right now, 43%. He could use it to his advantage to make sure he could defend from Rudy and Ray as yellow flag. That is Facilio. Facilio has binned it.
But just another thing to note is the championship rivals, Danerka and Wouters, are about to go battling here for 9th spot. This could be crucial in terms of how the mathematicians add up this race. But Danerka seems to be the quicker one on the better tyres, but Wouters was looking for a move as Rudy did set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, looking to claw back in the DRS. It's instantly beaten by TF Legend, down in 12th position, but with 15 laps gone in this one, we really don't even know who's going to win it at this point. It's going to be a nail-biting finish, and make sure you stick around for it.
Yes, don't forget, Danerka needs to outscore most of his championship rivals by 6 points in order to take the title tonight. But at the moment, as it stands, it's looking unlikely that Danerka's going to win it. But he had his expectations. He thinks he wasn't going to win tonight anyway, the title. So if he takes it to next week, he's not too phased about it. As long as he takes it eventually, that's all that matters for him in his opinion. So he's taking it steady, because slow and steady sometimes wins the race. He wouldn't even mind if he takes us to the final race, but he will probably have a little bit more pressure on himself. So the earlier he gets the title fight done, the better. And for Aiden's sake, he's probably watching it back, he's probably hoping that Danako doesn't win the title tonight, so a champion could be crowned. Yeah, so this could be a potential to be a night to remember for Danako, or chances to know what could have been for him. Imagine
here
what
comes
could have happened. Here comes Danako. He's going to get the double here, but he's backed off. He knows he had that spin earlier. He's got past one Aston Martin then. He's got past Namaya. Is he going to get past Tom then? This is crucial because he's his championship rival as well, don't forget. After Danako up to 7th place then. This is key. He's got to get in that DRS train now because penalties could make all the difference. And Valtteri did. Oh, someone spun. That's Markados then. And as I was saying, he was doing well. He spun. I know I said it earlier that he was doing well, but still I count that as a commentator's curse number 2 for me. So, yeah. That's why I should shut up about Markados. H. Eagle's out, but he's retired in the pit lane. So no safety car. I don't think there's any visible damage for the Red Bull, but he may go in for a set of the soft compounder tyres later on potentially to set the fastest lap. Fastest lap could make all the difference. So I'm going to put the top 5 results in. So Danako is in 6th. Valtteri is 11th. Tom is in 7th. We've got Asako, who's currently leading the race, and Rowan, where's Rowan? Rowan is currently sitting in 5th, but I think he's out of the fight anyway. As it stands, obviously without penalties we'll take into account later. If it was due to no penalties, Asako would be 2nd in the title fight, because he'll be a 24-point gap over Danako, and it'll be Asako and Danako taking the fight as well. Valtteri will be in the fight just. He'll be on the gap will be 31 points still. So that will be enough for him. Tom, 34. I'm trying to remember if Tom's got more wins than Danako. I don't think he has. So Tom, and it stands, will be out of the fight unless he could get past Danako then. So that could be key. As Ogiano gets past Romanino for 12th place then as well. So those are your championship permutations. So at the moment, at the end of this race, it could be a 3-horse fight. But I'm just trying to see where would Asako be if he finished in 4th place. Yeah, that would still be enough if Asako finished 4th. So yeah, basically if he's in the top 4, Asako will be safe. So that is good for Asako as it stands. But Valtteri will just be in there if he doesn't score points. So I think Valtteri will be there no matter what, as long as Danako doesn't finish higher than, say, 4th place.
Legend is making even more moves, so he could cause a bit of an issue in the championship fight for some of the guys in front. Legend, he got the move done on Fabi. He's on the back of Namaya. Namaya had a huge high-speed snap heading through turn 11. Not this lap, the last lap, lap 16. And he's under big pressure here with no battery. Legend's going to go clean around the outside on the mediums, and he's really making moves. The Brazilian Grand Prix winner is proving to be an unbelievable asset to whatever team gets his reserve duties. And Legend is up and around the outside, heading into 27, well ahead into the braking zone. And his next challenger will be his rival from Brazil, Tom. And it will be an interesting battle for sure, but Tom seems to be running very, very comfortable here, and he is on course for a possible P7 finish. Namaya cannot get back past in the braking zone as Markados picks up a 5-second time penalty. I believe
he's left the
his
session.
Race has run. Yeah, he's left the session, not retired in the pits, but he has left the session. That is his day over, I'm afraid. Gap up the front between Rudy and Asako is now 0.5 of a second. The two TF men, Rudy and Legend, both very good friends, both lighting up the Saudi Arabian track. It is going to be a good finish if Rudy can keep up this pace.
Yeah, Rudy will still be in the fight if he gets onto the podium for this championship then. So Rudy, if he gets this win and Danako stays where he is, well, the fight, there'll be more than 2 or 3 drivers in this fight going in to USA next week. So Danako will be put with even more pressure then going into the last few rounds. But we're seeing Asako, he's got less ERS than Rudy. Rudy's managing to save quite a bit more in the last few laps. He's got DRS. He's got to think tactically like he did earlier on as well. And I wonder, is Asako thinking tactically as well? But ideally, Rudy's got to go for the move, not now, but at the detection point. He's not going to go yet. He's thinking about it. He's gaining. He's not got his overtake on now. If I was him, I'll get the overtake done now. as he's not using his battery actually. He's still going to try and get past Asako into T1. He's got the move done without ERS, so that was crucial. That just shows Rudy's straight line speed around this circuit is second to none. So Rudy on track, and net at the moment, he's your race leader. At the moment as it stands, he'll be 25 points behind Danako, which is enough for him to be in this fight. Asako dropping way down due to penalties. He may be out of this if he's not careful, so there's those penalties coming back to bite him. He wouldn't want a late safety car, so he'll definitely be out of the fight for sure. And he's got Ray behind him now.
Two McLarens are just ready to pounce at any moment here. They've just been waiting and waiting and waiting, and like a patient child waiting for some sweets. They just want the good out of this so badly. Ray he's waiting. He's been waiting all race really to make moves on people, and he's finally gonna get it done. Rudy, I saw him qualifying. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, but he was snapping all over the place in Sector 1, but his straight line speed was unbelievable. And just take a look at this. He's flying off into the distance. Asakom's going to be struggling with the tyres very quickly. They can do about 11 laps, and then they are pretty shot. And we can see here Asako going to be struggling into the final corner. Kazizel is almost looking to go up the inside of his teammate. The two McLarens don't want to make contact. Rowan trying to go the long way around the outside. That was a very optimistic send from Rowan, but he hasn't made much of it. Fabi, oh, there's contact here at the back actually between Fabi and the Maya, and it looks like we're going to have a bit of a kerfuffle down in towards turn 1. 3, 4 wide almost. Falgiano looking to make the best of a situation here. Philip Wouters in the middle of an Aston Martin sandwich, breaking into turn number 1. Who breaks the later? Wouters breaks later. 2 off the circuit. Ogiano clean round the outside. The Haasman has got about 4 in 1. It's a real chaos here at the back here. The two Aston Martins are still side by side. The Red Bull of Fabi swoops through. Wouters has lost out badly there, but Ogiano, Mr. Consistent, he's got past there, but he has actually tapped the wall, so whether he's going to be so consistent towards the end of the race, we'll have to see.
This is why Jeddah should be a part of every PSGL calendar for eternity, because I have to say this was incredible from Ogiano, but that penalty is definitely hindering him right now as well, and that scrap's going to be intense for the final point. Romanino at the moment is going to get the final point, but he could get P9 as well due to Ogiano's penalty, so that could be very decent for him. At this moment in time, Dernerko's found his way into the lead train then at this moment in time, but Rudy's broken away from everybody. He is flying. He wants the win of this race. He wants to say to Dernerko, I want to take this fight for another race. I'm not alone in this fight. I'm not out of it just yet, and he's definitely proving it so far in that Alpine car. Rudy has come alive on this game in many leagues as well, not just PSGL, so it's not really a surprise right now. As you can see, Rowan is on the attack as well, as because it all locks up a little bit, but not enough to lose him time or position. Has on lap 21 of 25. Who's going to win this race? Well, the answer to that question is, I don't have a clue, and I don't think Evan or any of the guys in chat have a clue either, and that is just very, very exciting. We could have a late safety car, we could have loads of things happening, and Connor just pointed in the chat actually, thank you Connor, that there was a glitch unfortunately for Asako, and that could see his penalty be removed, as I am getting a timing glitch on my screen at the moment. Go away timing, go. It's not telling me where people are at the moment, so it's a bit of a glitch our end, but hopefully that will get fixed shortly. But Rudy is definitely leading this one, don't worry.
Maya's disconnected from the session, actually. He was about to engage battle with Wouters, but actually a disconnect for the Maya, and that just makes this situation from bad to worse. Rudy has actually just lost the lead to Asako, and as Rudy just suffered a disconnect as well. It could be for the Alpine, but there's something gone majorly wrong in the Alpine camp. Kazizel and Rowan, oh no, we're going all over the place here with the timing, and I'm really not sure what's going on, but
it is a laggy session at the moment. The Maya's left as well.
Left the session as well.
Oh, that's desync. That is horrible desync from Danako there.
And Rudy's AI's just pulled into the pits, and it's all just gone bust here in Saudi Arabia. Something major has just gone wrong, and that may spoil the party here prematurely.
This is a decent lobby. The timing migrating host.
This is gone, unfortunately, and that may be a wrap, because it looks like we are done here, because there's been a lot of people who have desynced and kicked out of the session, and it's also unfortunate for a lot of guys. We're on for fight of the night.
I've been kicked.
Yeah, that's yeah, it's been really unfortunate there. It seems to be some major issues here in Saudi Arabia. Jensen's actually just retired from the session as well. Whether we get another lobby going, folks, it is very unsure because we do only have 4 or 5 laps remaining, so we'll have to keep you updated on this one, folks. The guys up the top, Facecam and Rowan, are still going hammer and tong here. They don't know what's going on behind. They think Rudy and Kazizel have just had a nightmare of a lap 21, and Rowan's going for the race lead. Don't think it'll count for much, but it'll certainly count for a bit of a motivational boost heading into the remaining rounds of the season. Whether we do take race results at lap 20, we'll have to wait and see, but we do apologise for the issues here, folks.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if I can join the session, but that lobby, I have to say, was awful. I was gonna say something else, but I'm not gonna say it because due to me being professional. But I think it's annoying that we're still getting desync at the moment. I've had horrible desync on Thursday night as well. It's not just for PSGL. A lot of other leagues have been having desync issues recently as well, and I'm trying to get back into the session. And at the moment,
yeah, we have a verdict from Connor here. Just sorry to interrupt. They are going to take results from the last completed lap, meaning your race winner will be TF Rudy, I believe, here in Jeddah. He will take a win in PSGL F1. And we've had a message from Connor in the chat saying we'll take results from the last completed lap, which I believe is either lap 20 or 21, but it should realistically be Rudy who takes the win.
Yeah, so I'm going to feel bad for the mathematicians now because they have to do some serious maths at the moment. I think, I'm just trying to see, I think it was lap 20, yeah, end of lap 20 was the lap which was pretty decent, I think. So let me get the results from lap 20. So it was Rudy, and I'm trying to, I think Ascone got 3 seconds, but that might get removed. So add 3, so that'll be 3 seconds. I think it'll be Rudy, then Ray, then Kazizel, then Rowan, then Dernerka, then Tom, and I think it may be Ascone, but we will keep you updated on Twitter. But like we said, we do apologise for the issues as well, and yeah, it's a shame, but Rudy wouldn't want to have won it that way, but he's won.
The best bit about this is Rowan, Dernerka and Facecam don't know what's going on. They are still going flat out around the Jeddah Corniche circuit. Dernerka's up to second actually, so he's going to be raging when he finds out what happened. But yeah, it's unfortunate that a game this far into a cycle can still have such issues, but it's not the first time we've suffered desync issues here in PSGL, and we have to get George Morgan on the phone pretty quickly after that one. The whole lobby just completely died, and that's really unfortunate because we were in for a great ending to what had been a great race so far.
It was good. I would have wanted to see how Dernerka would have done as well because he was in that train. I'll have to say,
it's got to be lap 20. The result.
Yeah, so it'll be Rudy from Ray from Kazizel. So both of the McLarens getting a 2-3, but obviously one of the McLarens got made contact with Dernerka at the start. So I think one of the McLarens will be investigated as well. And there were some problems in F6 as well, where Kian sent into a wall and touched a bit at entry line, and the game didn't give him a long time to get back into the pit lane, and he got disqualified that as well. So yes, if you want to keep an eye on the results, guys, it will be on the PSGL Twitter as soon as the mathematicians have done their thing as well. It will be confirmed in due course on Twitter. So due thanks to Connor in the chat as well. So really the likely winner, and obviously we won't give you the confirmed results until we hear from the mathematicians, unfortunately. But we may as well wrap it up. That's a bit of a shame. But before we go, who's your driver of the day?
I go for Rudy because we don't really know where many people are going to finish, and I think there would have been people who finished in other positions. I know Tom is not happy because he was sitting behind with battery waiting for a last lap pounce, but Yeah, once again, I really do feel sorry for Rowan when he gets out of this one, because he is driving the last lap as he thinks he's just won a PSGL F1 race. But yeah, I'm going to give my driver of the day to Rudy. He was rapid in this race. He definitely hit the pace and would have won without any issues, and he most likely will win with the early stoppage.
Yes, and Rudy is still in his fight. Obviously, with the standings, we will be able to confirm later on who is in that championship fight as well. But yeah, hopefully it will be sorted for next week when we head to the United States of America in Austin, Texas for the penultimate round of the season. Still a few drivers could mathematically still be in this fight. It is not, Derneco will not take the title tonight, but he could take it in USA, and he could take it in Great Britain. He's got 2 more chances to do so, and we're going to wrap it up. No interviews today, guys, due to the desync. I think a few people will be confused, but if you want more PSGL streams, we've had the other tiers on this evening, and of course we've got PSGL PC F2 on later on Wednesday at 8 PM with Chris Buxton and Luke Etheridge. Take you through that one. And we've got the lower PC tiers at 7 PM and 8 PM with F3, F4, F5, F6 on Thursday night. On Sunday night we've got the lower PS tiers, and then we've got myself and Aidan Carter back for F1 at 8 PM next week for USA. And before we go, thanks again, Evan, for joining me in the commentary box tonight. Shame about the ending, but thank you for stepping in tonight.
No, thank you. And Derneco, actually, just for people who are wondering, and I stayed watching the race, Derneco took a drag race to the line, so unless he hasn't read his Discord DMs, he believes he's just won the championship. So I do hope the messages got to him, but yeah, it was an unfortunate end to what was going to be a brilliant end to the race, but still, it will be a brilliant final 2 rounds to the PSGL F1 Championship, and you don't want to miss it.
Yeah, you do not want to miss it as well. Make sure you watch the other streams as well. If you want to catch Evan's commentary, that's at 7 PM next week with PSF2. So check that out as well. Cheeky plug there, because yeah, you did such a great job. I may as well plug your stream as well. So thank you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you next week for the United States Grand Prix. And right now we'll leave you with our sponsors, Grid Rival and GT Omega. For myself and Evan, we will see you next week in our respective tiers at 7 and 8 PM. Goodbye.
This broadcast was brought to you by GT Omega and Grid Rival, proudly supporting PSGL.